Hey, this is Carrie from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. This is the Expecting Aerialist podcast with the Digit Podcast Network. How's it going, guys? Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm super excited to announce that Early Bird is now open for June 21 through 26th, our summer traincation. Train Hard, Play Hard in Miami, Florida. In partnership with Gravity Academy and Aerial Sailing Miami, I am putting together a 6-day, 20-hour in-studio training, and we have excursions with Aerial Sailing Miami to, do aerial off the side of a boat. All right, guys, please check the show notes if you want to sign up. February 25th is the deadline for Early Bird. If you go to my website, links in the show notes for my 2 courses, Aerial Rehab and my comprehensive beginner to intermediate course. And also on this feed on Thursdays is the Artist Entrepreneur, my weekly gap session with Noah Doc and Amanda Ritchie. All right, guys, so excited to listen to these interviews. Let's get started. Aisling, would you please reintroduce yourself to the audience? You've been on before. We talked about your aerial practice, but now you're pregos.
Yep.
And it's perfect. So if you would just introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself, your family, your practice, and then we'll jump into the story.
Okay, cool. So I'm primarily a hoop artist, but I dabble in a few other bits and pieces. Straps, kind of bit like, I think very much lesser known for straps, but I used to do a lot of straps before I had hip surgery, which is what we talked about in the last episode.
Yes.
And I'm currently 9 months pregnant. Got 3.5 weeks to go.
Oh my God, you really did hide it from the world, didn't you?
Yeah, I was working until 6. I hit 6 months and I had the last show. And that was actually really nice. I was making the show while pregnant. So it wasn't like I had to suddenly get back into like a non-pregnant role. And then I just sort of revealed it after that. But my friends and family already knew, but
of course,
not sort of the wider world.
The wider world. So, okay, there's a lot to talk about, and you've gotten through most of your pregnancy. So, let's do this. The last time we spoke, it was about your hip surgeries, plural? 2.
Yes, 1 on each hip. So same surgery, but each hip needed it.
Okay, so this was a long time ago because I think you had only done 1 by then or something like that?
I think so. I think August 2024, I had the first one done. And then December 2024 was the second one.
Okay, so how long were you out of movement? Like you had to rest? Like how much time?
So it wasn't too bad for like not full movement. So it was 2 weeks of using crutches, like using walking aids, but they wanted me to have as much weight on it as possible.
Okay.
So it was probably only about 2 or 3 days of like lying on a couch, and then a couple of days of shuffling around the house with crutches, and then I kept getting in trouble. Jenny would come in and be like, why are your crutches on one side of the room and you were making tea on the other side? I'm like, I just really needed something. Hey.
Can I say hi? Listen, what do you know what? I'm sitting on a physio ball and she loves to stand on it, and you're going to take us both down. You're going to take us both down, Bean. Get down. I know. She always wants to be with me. Aisling. Okay, so as I remember it, you were having, like, the socket was not smooth, right?
Yes. So it's called, see if I get this right, femoroacetabular impingement, FAI.
Yes.
And it's where it doesn't even have to be, so there was a little bit of not smoothness, that doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean?
Yes. Roughness.
Totally smooth and top of my humerus. You can also have FAI though from being hypermobile and having the joint not quite sit properly in the socket as you move it at extreme ranges.
Yes.
So it irritates and gets into the cartilage. So it's sort of a bit of both.
Okay.
So when they did the surgery, they went in keyholes. They made 3 little incisions and went in with like little tiny tools and a camera. and they repaired. I had a tear in the cartilage at the front of the hip and in the back, so anterior and a posterior tear, which they kind of stapled back together.
Okay.
And then they shaved. There was a lot of like ragged cartilage all around the edge.
Okay.
And they shaved that down, neatened it up, and then they shaved down the top of the humerus, the head of the humerus. And then that was one hip, and then they did that again 3 months later on the other hip.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And so you were like, you didn't know how you're going to feel. What's your range of motion like now?
It's pretty. So the plus sides of it are I have no more pain on a daily basis. I had daily pain, daily aches, daily nerve pain from femoral nerve pinch, and it was pretty it was a chronic pain that I'd gotten to that point where I didn't care if I couldn't open my legs anymore. It was I just wanted the pain to stop.
Yes.
So the pain is totally gone, and it's only in the last week or so of pregnancy that I sometimes feel an ache at night.
Okay.
And I remember how lucky I feel to not feel that all the time.
Yes.
Which is kind of nice. I'm like, wait, I remember this pain, but this used to be 24/7 and a lot more. But flexibility wise, because the muscles all around my hip girdle and in my lower back had already tightened quite a lot to protect my hips. It meant my flexibility had already kind of gone down over the years, and my work had adapted with that.
Okay.
So I got my splits came back, which was great either side, but I never had box split anyway. So
okay.
I didn't have much to lose there. My straddle's not as wide, but I never straddle in my work anyway.
Okay.
So it wasn't an aesthetic problem. The only thing that was most difficult to get back, or sort of most annoying on a daily basis, was that I couldn't sit cross-legged. And I can now, but I'm a little worried that's because of the relaxin hormones of pregnancy.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because let me see. Let's see. So December was my second hip surgery, and then 6 months later I got pregnant. So I had 6 months of a rehab on the hip, but there was still another 3 months to go, and those 3 months for me were going to be pushing my flexibility again, because at this point I was back to totally normal function, and I wanted to push into my active flexibility, but being pregnant and being aware of the fact that I'm already hypermobile and now I have relaxin in my body.
Yes, you want to be careful.
So the best advice that I was getting was to stay where you're at, but don't push further. So still stretch, but remember where you are with all your flexibility, and try not to go beyond that, because it will most likely be the ligaments and the joints going rather than the actual muscle actively doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll be curious after the pregnancy to see if I can still sit cross-legged and whether or not I need to go back and actually work the musculature.
Yes.
So
okay, this is, oh my God, this population is going to feel exactly like me and nerd out on this. This is so fascinating. Okay, Cheallaigh. Okay, was this pregnancy planned?
Very much so. Yes.
Okay,
we were trying for 2 years, and then we did IVF. So it was sort of it was our first round of IVF, so we were so lucky that the first round worked. I probably, had I have known the first round was definitely going to work, I'd probably have waited the extra 3 months so I could have got the full 9 months recovery. But in my head, I was like, well, sure, the first one won't work, so we'll maybe plan from the second one on that maybe I'll be pregnant. But then the first one worked, so I was like,
so
wait, why I haven't finished rehab? Oh, fuck it.
Why IVF? Were you? Why IVF? What was your reason to doing IVF?
So we decided about 5 years ago that my partner Maxie and myself both wanted kids, and we were sort of talking about timelines. We hadn't sort of talked about it much before that, and I hadn't really wanted kids before that, but it was starting to be on my mind a bit more, and we had a conversation about it where he was saying me too, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, how about we sort of make a loose plan, and we just keep checking in on it. So we made a loose plan to start trying. I think it was about 3 years after that conversation. And we kept checking in every few months, do you still kind of want to start trying in a few years? And we'd be like, oh yeah, I do. So it got up to the point where we'd sort of, the deadline that I'd kind of set was mostly for myself, that I'd never been to Burning Man, and both my partners had, and they really wanted me to experience it, and I really wanted to experience it.
Okay.
So it was 2020, It was the year that it rained, if anyone remembers.
It's the year that it rained and it was muddy. Yeah.
That was my first. So we started trying straight after that. And I'd been off contraception. I'd stopped taking any hormonal contraception the year before to see if I could sort of get used to my cycles and tune sort of back into what that might feel like. But then, nothing happened for the first year. And I know a year isn't that long, but I was still like, about 80% of people trying apparently would get pregnant within the first year. And then 90% get pregnant within the second year.
Okay.
But so I was like, we could keep trying for another year, or let's get checked out.
Sure.
So we got checked out. And everything was, the doctor was really nice. He was like, basically, you're a perfect candidate for IVF because there's nothing really wrong. Some of the numbers are a bit low in one place or a bit high in another, but nothing is like above the area where you're like, that's your problem.
Oh, okay.
So he suggested we just keep trying naturally until it gets to the point where it's becoming stressful and not fun. And we want to try something different.
Okay.
So we tried for another 8 months, I think. And then, after, like, anyone who's been trying for a while will know that.
Yes.
That sadness of, waking up in the morning and being like, oh, I just got my period. No, I so thought we'd nailed it.
What does it mean?
And because IVF is quite accessible to us here in Ireland, we were like, let's just go for it and see. We can always stop at any point if it's not for us or if it's not working. And it worked.
How specifically were you like peeing on sticks and timing your ovulations and
at the beginning? So the first year, I was like, I'd be like, all right, so this is our window. These are the dates.
Oh, okay.
Times. For me, the peeing on the stick never worked, which was annoying.
Okay.
So I never.
Okay.
So that was another worry when I got the checkup a year in. I was like, am I even ovulating? Because I'd pee on the sticks and it would never tell me whether it would always say I wasn't ovulating. But the checks showed that I was indeed ovulating. It's just the amount of chemical that the pee sticks test for is different in everyone, and it was just a bit lower in me. And then for the next sort of period that we kept trying, we just decided to stop looking at the calendar because it was just getting
too much.
Not be fun anymore. And what else about the IVF? Oh, there was a few things though. I felt like the IVF, the way it's set up, there is kind of a strong assumption that during the different stages of it, that as the woman, you're not doing much or you don't have, like, it's very much set up for either someone who's not working or someone who works 9 to 5 in a sedentary job. Because there were times that I went in for, the first thing they do is you taking hormones in order to make your ovaries overproduce as many follicles as possible so that they can harvest as many eggs as possible. And so they started me on that. And then I had to travel. We're about 3 hours away from the clinic. So to travel back and forth a lot for scans. And I got a scan and they were like, okay, great. Everything's looking great. Your ovaries are really they're swollen up. There's loads of follicles there. We'll be able to harvest soon. Just make sure over the next 2 or 3 days, you're not doing anything too strenuous.
Okay.
And I was like, what do you mean? I'm teaching a 3-day workshop in England on a metal bar. Had I have known that, because there was more of a chance of ovarian torsion because they're so much bigger. They go the size of an orange or something. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, you could have told me this before we started this meeting here because I didn't know that. And I'm teaching and there's nothing much. I'm obviously going to avoid rolling around on my belly on the bar. But apart from that, I can't just chill. And they were like, okay, it's fine. It's your choice. And then after that weekend, I went in to have the eggs harvested. And they were like, so now you have to rest and make sure that you don't do anything strenuous over the next few days again. And I was like, I have to fly to Vienna this afternoon. I'm teaching 5 days of more workshops.
Oh, no. But at least the eggs are out of you.
But at least the eggs are out, yeah. And I made it to the airport without being too groggy because they give you morphine and there's a name of another thing that they use to make you forget. And I cannot think of the name. It's It's like a roofie, basically. It's kind of legal. Oh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's weird. So I've got like, I was on my camera roll sitting on the plane. I was going through my camera roll to look at stuff from the 3-day camp I just taught. And there's 2 pictures of me in like the little gown and the hat from the procedure. It's like a really short procedure. It's like 20 minutes, but I'm wearing this like silly thing and I'm just staring into the camera. I have no memory of this. I have no memory of seeing that. Because it took a little while, obviously, for the memory blocker to wear off.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
It's funny. I sent them to Maxie. I was like, Maxie, do you remember me taking these? And he was like, yeah, you were trying to take a picture of your pupils because you were wondering, are they really small? Because you had some morphine in there. I was like, I don't remember this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, the eggs came out well and they got loads, which was great. And of the eggs, they got 6 of them got as far as being fertilized and got as far as 5 days.
Okay.
In I think they call it the blastoid stage. And then they froze those 6.
Okay.
And then in mid-June, we implanted 1 and that worked.
Okay. So girl or boy?
I haven't been telling anyone publicly yet, but by the time this comes out, I'm not sure if they'll be born or not. They probably will. So I can probably reveal. Yeah, I can reveal a little boy.
Oh, yay. Okay, wait. What? I'll just wait to publish this after your
It's
baby.
not the end of the world if it's like a day or 2. Or, like my family knows and stuff. So,
oh my
but we're
God.
definitely not sharing any names or anything until
Oh
he's
my
born.
goodness. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, this child's killing me. This child is really good at, like she knows I need her to leave me alone. And so she put my phone in front of me with a game that she wanted me to buy.
She's like, I'll go away if you buy the game.
Oh my God. Seriously? This child. And she's supposed to be with her papa right now because he said that she had to go to church every Sunday with him. But then he got too lazy to take her. I was like, oh, come on. Anyways, maybe you'll be dealing with this in 6 to 7 years. We'll see. Okay, so wait. Okay, now, oh my God, there's so much. So how has this pregnancy been?
It's been, so health-wise, it's been great. Like we've had no complications. The only sort of complication or the small thing is that both my bump is measuring small and he's measuring a little small.
Okay.
So I have extra growth scans.
Okay.
And they're trying to just make let me see, on Monday, it's my 3rd growth scan in 6 weeks.
Okay.
So that they can compare his growth to his growth, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than, so far they've comparing his growth to like
other
the
kids
of babies in the world.
Yes.
And like, I'm a short person.
You're a petite person, all the things.
Yeah, and my family are all petite as well. So I'm like, it could be
just you.
Like, yeah, the doctors were like, everyone's a different size. So we'll just make sure he's growing in comparison to himself. And then if he is, so this is sort of the 3rd scan where they can kind of confirm that. And
that
I haven't
pattern.
asked.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't asked what happens if he's not growing well, because I figured I will deal with that when and if it comes up.
Cross that bridge when it comes. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you experience morning sickness or any stuff in the first trimester that was really difficult?
So the first trimester was the worst so far. So now that I only have 3 weeks left, I'm like, okay, I think I can safely say the first trimester for me was the worst.
Okay, you were nauseous.
It was horrible. So on the good side, I wasn't vomiting, but I wish I kind of was, because my sister had it pretty bad too, and she had hers, but she said that she'd get a couple of hours relief once she vomited. Sometimes the rest of the day would be fine.
Okay.
Whereas I wasn't vomiting, I was just nauseous. It was like being seasick constantly, like just a constant level of nausea. All food was a horrible thing. Like I couldn't. Some people they're like, oh, you got any cravings or aversions? And I'm like, yes, I'm averse to everything, and I have no cravings. Like I hate like tea. Couldn't drink, like no more tea, no more coffee. Water was really hard to drink, but obviously I have to drink something, so I was trying to make sure to drink that. I kind of regressed to childhood foods that made me feel safe that I could eat. So like really bad, there's like cheese. I don't know if you have those in the US, but like cheese triangles from the Laughing Cow. Like a, they're like these like really squishy. You eat them all the time as kids. They're kind of like the same quality as Kraft cheese
Oh,
slices.
I see.
Like that same kind of thing.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
real
yeah.
cheese, really.
Yeah, like processed cheese, basically.
Yeah. Pickled things were kind of okay. So
Okay.
I had pickled eggs.
That
That's
is
when
so.
Jenny was
That
like, "You're
sounds.
definitely pregnant. You're eating pickled eggs." But it wasn't that I wanted them. It was just that I could stomach those. So they were sort of, um, and toast was okay. But
Okay.
and also the really annoying thing is if I didn't eat and I became hungry, the nausea would get worse. So I had
Right.
to
So
eat
you had
something.
to eat something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had no desire to train whatsoever. So I didn't.
Okay.
So from the morning sickness started around, well, morning sickness, all day sickness
Yes.
started around week 5 of pregnancy. So it was July and it went to week 15 or 16.
Oh.
So I was like, they lie. There's so many lies that happen, I think, with pregnancy. They're like, oh, it's a first trimester thing. And I'm like, well, seems to be halfway through the second.
Yes.
And then also the fact that pregnancy is 10 months and not 9. I was like, because I thought my first trimester would end at 12 weeks, but it's 14 weeks it ends. And then the nausea still went on a bit more. And I was like, oh, for heaven's sake, why does everyone say these things? And then you actually get pregnant and you learn that's not really the case. And it's very individualized.
Those like couple weeks of still feeling like you're dying, it's like, it's very real in it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to forget a lot of, to me, like it's just a haze. You know, like
I've already started to forget because we'd like to have 2. And at first during the first trimester,
you're like,
I was
screw
like,
this.
No way I can imagine doing this again. This is horrific.
Yeah.
And now that it's 6 months ago, I'm like, yeah, it's probably fine. Now I know that between week 5 and week 15, I can't plan anything. Like not plan any training anyway. Just I can work because that actually helps distract. So teaching helped distract.
Sure.
Performing helped distract. But I had to make sure that whatever teaching or performing I was doing did not require large amounts of conditioning or training beforehand.
Okay, can I ask you?
I
this is so interesting. Okay, you have no desire to train throughout your pregnancy. Did you expect that?
No, I wasn't expecting that. I was really there's a load of aerialists and athletes that I am so inspired by over the years who've had kids, and I've watched them continue to train throughout their pregnancies.
Yes,
and been like, yeah, that's gonna be me. Like I'm gonna do that. And then it was just really weird to be like, no, I don't want to.
Was it because your body was it just kind of like a sixth sense, or was it like no, I'm ready to just chill because I feel like this is the only time I can chill? Like, was it your body didn't want to?
It wasn't a frontal brain decision.
Okay.
It was kind of like, I feel like particularly the first trimester was kind of like being a toddler in that someone would like wave a food in front of my nose and I'd go, no. Like I wouldn't know until it was in front of me. I'm like, I can't eat that. Or I'd smell a smell and be like, what's that smell? It's awful. Or be like training was sort of like, do you want to come training? And I'll be like, no. Oh, no. I don't know.
Right.
What,
it was just an instinct for you.
It's just an instinctual, like, I do not want to train. And I think it's that feeling of when your body feels like it's extremely preoccupied with something.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have the capacity to give energy to something else that needs energy. Like you can't be not 100% on when you're flying around in the air.
Yes.
And so, it just, and the lucky thing is I didn't have to train so much because the work that I was doing in that period was mostly teaching things that I know really well that I can do without large amounts of training beforehand. Like I either need to run an act or perhaps something crazy. And then there were times now and again, like I have trained a bit. Like now and again I'm on the hoop and it's so nice. And I really enjoy it. And the kind of nice thing that the surgeries taught me was that it'll just be waiting there when I decide I want to come back. Like there's no I don't feel sad without it, which is really nice. I know it's there if I want to go back. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back. But also, if it never comes, like if I never find that, like, oh yeah, training again, that's also okay because I'm not actively missing it. It
Okay.
would require some thinking about what the future is going to be.
Yeah, that would require, right. But,
I'm not going to worry about that until that happens. And I'll be like, oh God, who am I?
Well, two things that resonate with me are I had a major surgery and a huge injury before I was pregnant. I broke my leg into pieces on a big tour. And so it was like a 2 years. 2 year recovery until I was working again. And that really, when you go through surgeries where you don't know what's going to happen at the end and you come out the other end, it gives you a lot of confidence.
Yes, it really does. Because you're like, okay, I went away. I didn't dissolve into nothingness without being an aerialist. And then I came back and I was an aerialist again, and it was still there. Like there's things that you're like, oh, I can't get my leg all the way up there anymore with active, on your first few trainings back, but you're also really surprised about what is still that you're like, oh, okay, a huge amount of this was muscle memory, not muscle.
Yes.
And then some of it was muscle. I did make a mistake though. I did start kind of going a bit too fast after the surgery around April, May before I got pregnant, and overdid it. My shoulders started to really take a little bit of heat, and I may have done something to my right shoulder. My physio wanted me to get an MRI, and then by the time I had it booked, I was pregnant, and I was like, it's not that you should not get an MRI when, like, as in the general consensus with MRIs is if it's really critical, an MRI, they think it's safe during pregnancy, but if it's like something you can postpone, one should. So I haven't got an MRI on it, but they thought there could be a little tear in there somewhere. And it's definitely from jumping back into the hoop too soon for what my shoulders had been I hadn't been conditioning my shoulders aerially to do some of the stuff. It was mostly ego. It's like, I still want to be able to teach these moves. And then I was like, yeah, you needed to do some conditioning in your shoulders before you demonstrated that over and over.
So the other thing I was thinking is, this is what I experience on these interviews. The women who are in it like us, like it's our livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much less stress about knowing that we'll get back to it because we don't really have that many choices. Like we have to make a huge decision to change our career if we're going to go back. Whereas other people who that's not their livelihood, there's a lot of stress and sadness around. It's almost like a grieving. Like, might I have to say goodbye to this? And I haven't had the chance to say goodbye to it because when the baby comes, my life will take over. I have a regular job. The restraints of life and adulthood might take me away from this practice altogether. And maybe I'll have to make those decisions. Like I'll have to decide to walk away from it, or I might not even get back. Might not be able to do the work to get back, like, getting the strength back. Whereas people like us, again, you just said it, you're going to have to make some major life decisions if you don't want to go back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. But yeah, if this was something that I was trying to maintain at the same time as a full-time job and bring a baby into that, it would be a completely different kettle of fish as to whether or not I could go back. And it wouldn't. Yeah, it would be something you just have to let go as well. It wouldn't have to be a big, but what do I do instead? It would just be like, I don't have time instead. I've got this baby and this job. Yeah. And I need to make the money. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so it's a different calculation, therefore a different emotional journey, I feel like. Because you're very at peace and you're at the end of this pregnancy. No matter what, this child's going to get evacuated some way or another. Yep.
Tell them, like, come out in the next few weeks. We're going in to get you.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Are you one to have a birth plan?
Yes, I have it. So I have a birth plan, but I'm aware of two factors. One is that might go out the window. If any safety concerns are happening, then that goes out the window. And the second is that the person who makes the birth plan and the person who's in labor are two different people. So I might throw the birth plan out the window once I'm actually in labor. But the plan, the hope sort of my dream and my hope is to have unmedicated vaginal birth.
Okay.
If everything goes well, that would be like the dream. But I wouldn't be devastated if that's not what happens. If I need a C-section, if something goes wrong, like if I'm not handling the pain well and I need an epidural, like I'm open to all of it. But my goal is to sort of train towards a non-medicated vaginal birth. But this is I've never given birth before, so it feels really presumptive to make when you're making the plan. You're like, right. I'm gonna laugh at this later. But I have been doing the maternity service in Ireland is not the best ever, but it's also pretty good.
Okay, sure.
So there's a lot of free classes that they do, one of which is hypnobirthing. And it's kind of a hard one. They're very supportive of vaginal birth, but at the same time, in the local hospital that I'll be in, their rate of cesarean section is at 46%, I think. Which is pretty high.
That's pretty high, but I wonder what it is in America, because I feel like it would be so similar.
Yeah, I think it's in this hospital in particular, it's higher than in other hospitals in Ireland.
Okay.
But they're trying to change that culture. Okay. I was a little bit worried when I first started looking into hospitals and being like, oh, how do I, because we don't have birthing centers in Ireland, it's just hospitals. And then if you want to do a home birth, if you want a midwife at your home birth, the midwives, I think there's 12 midwives in Ireland that specialize in home birth, but they are based in certain areas and there are none in the kind of counties all around my area. So Mayo, Donegal and Sligo. In which case, so they'd be a free midwife. They'd be connected to the HSE, the Health Service Executive, which is like the governing body for health matters here.
Okay.
And they would also have connections in with the hospital. So if anything went wrong, they have a direct line into the hospital. They'd be able to keep, say, like the consultant on alert that if anything, like that there's a home birth happening, if anything goes wrong, we may need the surgery to be opened quickly. So the alternative to that is to hire private midwives at your own expense, but they may not have any relationship with your local hospital.
Oh, I see.
So you'd come in as accident and emergency, basically, if something happened.
Right.
And then there's free birthing, which is where you are just at home with your partners or your friends or family or whoever you want there, but who aren't medically qualified.
Right.
And so that's another option. But that, again, obviously no one in that scenario either is connected to the hospital. And for me personally, I wanted that peace of mind of knowing that if things don't go well, I live 6 minutes from the hospital. So it's like, it's just nice to know it's there and that I can take advantage of it if I need it. So although I would love to do my dream would be a home birth where we can go to the hospital if things go wrong. We couldn't get the nurse.
Okay.
So I am having a hospital birth, but I'm hoping he decides to come out before we hit like 41 weeks, because I don't want, if you're induced, you have to go into the hospital and you stay there from the moment of induction. Whereas if I go into labor spontaneously, I can labor at home for as long as I want.
Okay.
And then take that 6-minute journey in. So my birth plan is basically if I get all my dreams come true, it's to go into labor spontaneously and be at home for as long as possible. Like my ideal would be get into active labor before going into the hospital, and to sort of be at the transition stage.
Cheallaigh,
try to get to there.
Where are you right now exactly? How many weeks?
36.
36.
7. What am I? 36 and a half weeks.
36. And depending on if your bun needs a little more cooking time, you want the full, right? Especially if your baby is small, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And also I know that his due date is correct because we had IVF. So I know the exact date he was implanted, and that he was already 5 days old at that point. So I'm like we have the exact due date mathematically. It's not like we're kind of, a lot of people would be like 1 to 2 weeks in and out depending on their ovulation cycle, and if they don't know when they ovulated. Whereas it's not the case for this one. So I do know if we go over by a week, we're not going over by 2 weeks. Like that's not like, oh, but that could be 2 weeks. It's only over by 1 week. So yeah.
Okay. Are you nesting right now?
Yes.
Like crazy?
I feel like I've almost finished. I think I've sort of gone from finishing the nesting phase into the sleeping phase. I'm doing
Okay.
a lot of afternoons don't really exist anymore. They're kind of this hazy nap time. And I keep saying to my partner, I'm like, I'm not going to go to sleep this afternoon. And then I'll walk past my bedroom and the door's open and the bed's made. And I'm like, I'll just lie. 4 hours later, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I did it again. But we moved house December 12th. And I think up until 2 weeks ago, from December 12th to 2 weeks ago, I was just full on nesting mode. Like, all of the like little baby stuff starting to arrive, like crib, and like my sister bought a Trip Trap high chair, which is amazing. And like we'll receive it, and then Maxie and I will be like, we'll put that together tomorrow or something, and then it'll be 10 o'clock at night, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, we need to put it together now, or like I need to put it together now. So I think I've put together all of the furniture. Just because I'm like, it needs to be done at this moment. I cannot wait possibly longer. So we've got loads, and I love organizing. So I got a label machine, and I went crazy.
Oh, you got a label
all the
machine,
drawers, all the clothes. I've got the hospital bags packed. I've got little like nappy caddies for nappy changing, which have got like, all the nappy changing stuff in it that can go around different rooms in the house, so that I don't have to keep everything centralized. So like if they're like an upstairs, downstairs, and then a bedroom changer, so that we don't have to take them to the changing table every time. You just be like, pull out this little thing and it's got all the nappies and the cream and
you're
like
ready.
nipple chafing cream and lip balm and yes.
Oh my God, that's so good. Ashley, how old are you right now?
I am 37.
You're 37. Oh my God, I love this because we're going to do a 3-part series on you. First one was your hips. This one was your prenatal. We just got you. I saw that. So listeners, I saw her video and she's had the bump. I was like, oh wait, she needs to come back on if she wants to. And then we'll get you postpartum, because I always like to hear the end of the story, end of the birth story. Yes. Thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Thank you for having me again. Such a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. I'm very excited and very nervous. I'm mostly excited.
Thank you so much for tuning in, my friends. If you would leave me a 5-star rating and a review, it means the world to me. It really helps people find this. If you are an expecting aerialist around the world, or if you feel like you have a story to contribute to this podcast, please reach out to me, DM, email, Carrie@wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. I have an interview every single week, so there's lots of room for lots of stories. I really would love to hear from more of you. And the Mamas page, the Facebook page, I'm actually the admin for that. So I love that you guys are asking questions on there and really participating in the community. All right, my friends, check my website for my courses and also to sign up for this year's summer retreat in Miami, June 21st through the 26th. All right, my friends, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you later. This is The Expecting Aerialist.